So this is happening. This channel. Hi. Why now? Why this? Why are we here? Right? Because that's what this is about, right? Why should you even care? Honestly, I never thought I'd be starting a YouTube channel, but interesting turn of events. Here we are. We find ourselves in this platform. So I mean, we're in a pandemic. Technically, anything goes. I say you're not obligated to be the person you were 3 months ago, right? Anyway, so rude of me. Hi everyone. My name is Kosi, and I'm a chartered accountant by profession. I'm currently based in the UK. And if you follow me on Instagram at Fit Corporate Girl, you'll know that I'm very, very passionate about health and wellness and all things movement and holistic wellness and self-love and all those things. And so for me, my curiosity led me to read a little bit more, get into the nutrition coaching space, and I guess in my confusion and in just being so conflicted and confused by everything that I was reading up on the internet, I decided, okay, why not get qualified and really understand what it is you're doing and why you're doing the things that you're doing, and so after that I thought, okay, what now, Kosi? Are you just going to sit back and roll your eyes every time you hear someone talk about the new fad or give someone misleading advice? Are you just going to sit back, and complain, or are you going to do something? So here we are. I thought, why not start a conversation? At the end of the day, for me, it's really just about helping you guys understand why someone says do this, don't do this, or eat this, not that, or this is good for you, this is bad for you, which actually I don't see why. I don't think we should be classifying foods as good or bad. Like, why are we labeling foods as good or bad? Like, when did eating become like a moral decision where you're like, oh, I've eaten an apple, that's good, so I'm good, and I've had a slice of cake, so I'm such a bad person because that's a bad food. Like, oh, that's so stressful. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. As you can see, I am very passionate. But nonetheless, so the biggest risk with Googling alone is also it gets very confusing and it gets very contradictory, right? Especially when it comes to things you thought were like good nutritious foods, like for example, especially if you are someone that is always like after the next thing, whether it's intermittent fasting, keto, paleo, low fat, high fat, low carb, high carb. There's a lot, and even within those things, even within those diets, sometimes they'll say to you, what you thought was right in terms of, okay, I'm going to eat a banana because that's a fruit and bananas are good for me. And those diets will say, nope. Some of them will say, nope, that's a banana, that's fruit. You can't have sugar because bananas are high in sugar. So you can have half a banana or you can have 0 bananas. Or potatoes, we grew up knowing that a potato is a vegetable, and so it's a vegetable, so I must eat my vegetables. But some diets will say no potatoes. Have a sweet potato, but not a regular potato. Or chocolates, like chocolate is bad, right? Oh, that's what they say it is. But dark chocolate is good, so eat dark chocolate. And so you find yourself overeating the one because that's the one that is, socially acceptable, where in your heart you really just like, it's simple chocolate. Anyway, so like I said, it can really get confusing, and I think for me, the driving force behind this whole channel is that it really makes me sad when people get taken advantage of because of their lack of knowledge, or because they don't understand that ultimately the underlying principle behind every diet or fad or whatever the case is in some way or another to get you to eat less and move more, you know, in order to achieve a caloric deficit, you know. Instead, what we're seeing is that people are being put on sort of copy-paste rigid meal plan that says you can't have this, you can have this, and therefore, you know, you fall into that trap of diet culture where sometimes, you know, in some instances, if something isn't in your meal plan, your generic, you know, copy-paste meal plan that only has like 6 things on it, you know, if something suddenly falls out of that, now you're in a bit of a moral dilemma, you know, and suddenly you're in this sort of diet culture where you're like, okay, it's outside the plan, but, you know, and that's not necessarily how life works. Life is messy. A lot of things get in the way, and I think real freedom around food and nutrition is being able to include the food. What did I just say? Being able to include, I am not re-recording this because imposter syndrome, and I'm gonna talk myself out of it anyway. But real freedom around food is being able to eat the nutritionally dense stuff, which is the fruits and the veg, because we are adults and we have to do the things we don't like. Same way we have to pay our taxes, we have to eat our vegetables, period, you know. So we have to include the things that are high in, you know, vitamins and minerals, but also being able to include the things that aren't necessarily as high in nutrients, aren't necessarily high in nutrients, but are just good for the soul. They just make you happy, you know, and you shouldn't have to face a moral dilemma because you chose the one over the other, etc., etc., you know. So it's all about the simplicity of it all. And for me, this whole conversation starter intro thing that I'm doing, subscribe, that's what you guys say, like, subscribe, comment. This whole thing is really just about educating everyone, you know, and next time someone comes at you with the new thing, the new pill, potion, detox, cleanse, cut that, do this, waistline, you know, next time someone comes at you with those things, you can say, I see what this is trying to achieve, a little bit restrictive for me, or, you know, may or may not work. Let's rather follow a more balanced and more realistic approach. So that's the plan. Join me, you know, take a seat, you know, it's gonna be good times, fun times. I have made a ton of mistakes. So take that, and, you know, I made a ton of mistakes, and after having done that, and when I really decided to educate myself and get my certificate in nutrition coaching, put those two together, and I think you might want to hear what I have to say, right? So yeah, let's chat. Let me know what experiences you've had when it comes to food and nutrition and restriction, and, you know, even foods you thought were healthy and then, you know, you learned that they weren't, or XYZ. Let's, you know, have the chats, nutrition chats. Maybe that's what we should call it. I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited. Can you tell I'm excited? I'm very excited. So do the things, okay? Do the things that you're supposed to do there, and I will see you guys in the next video.